start by just welcoming everyone. I appreciate everyone taking the time out of their busy schedules this time of year. I know with the holidays and all that, time is definitely compressed, and so we definitely thank you for spending a half hour or so with us this morning to learn a little bit about Inventor Publisher. And by way of introduction, my name is Brent Adler. I am the sales manager for Master Graphics for our manufacturing and our educational business unit. Also joining me this morning, I have Dan Bonick, who is a senior technical specialist for Master Graphics, who's been with us a good number of years, and he's going to be handling the technical portion of our presentation today. Before we get into the actual presentation, I want to make sure I properly communicate to all of you just a little bit of information about Master Graphics. And you see there on the top of the slide, Master Graphics tagline, which is making design data work. Also our mission. And our mission really is to ensure that the design management and distribution of your CAD information or your CAD data continuously improves based on the relationship that you have with us. And I think based on the presentation that you see today, you'll see just another area where I think we can help you with that. Just wanted to give you a couple more facts about Master Graphics, so just have a better understanding of who we are. We have been in business for over 60 years. From an Autodesk perspective, we are the largest reseller for Autodesk in the Midwest. And a little bit more about our size and our coverage. We do have 6 offices in 3 states. We actually cover more states than you see on that map on the left side. But 6 offices in 3 states, a little over 100 employees at our company. Our headquarters is in Madison, Wisconsin. We have 1 additional facility there. We also have offices in Milwaukee, Appleton, Minneapolis, and Chicagoland. From a growth standpoint and a stability standpoint for our company, would want you to know that over the past 5 years, despite some of the tough economic situations that we've all been involved in and had to take on, we've still, with that in mind, we've still been able to acquire 4 of our competitors and continue to grow. And then the last point that I'd want to make is that we are definitely trying to make a connection between the commercial world and then also the educational market. And so we also service colleges, universities, high schools in Minnesota, Wisconsin, and Illinois. A little bit more about how Master Graphics business is organized, and you see in the orange there, one part of our business is the design side. In the blue, I'll talk just a little bit about post-design, but from a design perspective, it really is that we're an Autodesk Premier Solutions provider. You see also on the right-hand side there that we are considered a gold partner, which is the highest level of authorization within Autodesk. The reason I tell you that is we've gone through all the certifications, the training, we've met all the requirements to really reach that top level. And so I guess as a customer, I want you to feel very comfortable working with Master Graphics based on that. And part of the reason that we would have that designation is, as you see there, our services as it relates to design. Things you may not know that we do. We are able to perform consulting and project management services. We have software support for you, both phone and email based. You may have a need in design visualization, and if you don't have the expertise in-house, that's something that we can help with. The same is true for modeling. And then also with data management from Autodesk, it's a very robust solution. And I would have no problem saying that across the entire country, we're probably considered the best reseller out there from an implementation standpoint. When you get to the post-design side, what we're talking about is a lot of our hardware and our equipment. You see on the right-hand side, we're partners with Xerox, Hewlett-Packard, Canon, and then also Z Corporation, which is a 3D printing or a rapid prototyping technology. Services would be ways to service that hardware. We also do some different scanning hardware and collaboration services. And then you see that last bullet there, digital imaging and distribution. We help with printing, scanning, and file management. I've got 2 other slides that I want to share with you. And the next slide here, just really, it's nothing new for any of you, but it's the processes that you go through each and every day to get your work done and to keep your business going, starting with conceptual design all the way through at the very bottom, manufacturing and production. Master Graphics has tried to do is to really try and group these together and I guess let you know that we recognize these as separate functions within your business. You'll see we've got them grouped up. We understand, and if you think about what our mission is, if we're going to help you continuously improve the flow of your information, you have to look at it as a workflow and not selling you a box of software. Autodesk really differentiates themselves as well, is that Autodesk looks at it the same way, and they've made a lot of acquisitions and a lot of investments in different software solutions that really have taken them in a different direction than just being what historically we've all known them to be, which is really just the AutoCAD company. Today there's so much more. There's a lot of choices that you have for your 3D design software, but we're really trying to work on trying to educate all of you on what are the other areas where we can help you. And that really parlays real well into what Dan's going to be talking about today, which is Inventor Publisher, which just gives you some of that getting some of that technical publications and that documentation pulled together. So that's all I really have. I'm going to go ahead and hand it over to Dan, and he can really get us all educated a little bit better on Publisher.
Well, thank you, Brent. Before we get going here, I just wanted to get some opinions from everybody. We have a couple of quick poll questions. So if everyone could answer the first question to know is, what software are you currently using for your 3D design? So if everyone could just go ahead and pick on software here, and let's share the results so everyone can see. So you can see that we have a good portion of Inventor users, but you'll also notice here with Publisher that I'm going to talk about in a little bit, you don't have to just utilize Inventor software. Of course, there's some advantages to doing that, but you'll see that we're going to definitely be able to handle other types of software. So let's do one more. So this next question here is, which software are you currently using to create your documentation, your owner's manuals, assembly instructions, and so forth? If everyone could answer that question. All right, let's go ahead and close that poll off and show the results. Probably no big surprise here. A lot of people are using Microsoft Word, very common application for seeing exactly what's happening out there, getting that documentation out. So let's get going into our presentation this morning. So of course, the main challenge why we're all here is, it's difficult to go back and create owner's manuals, assembly instructions, disassembly instructions. I'm sure we all have stories on when you try to go back and create something or place something together. I know a couple of weeks ago I was replacing a headlight on my wife's car, and the owner's manual that I got out didn't look anything like the headlight that I was looking at with my wife's car. And of course, that's exactly what we're trying to do, is we're trying to get that information more in a visual perspective instead of just text-based. So of course, those are the challenges that we're going to try to solve here with Publisher. And of course, everything here is interactive. We're living in a 3D world. Everybody's expecting 3D. So just having 2D information may not be adequate. And of course, we want to utilize all the 3D software. So from that previous slide, we saw that everyone pretty much here is using some type of 3D software currently, and that's a wonderful thing. What you're going to see here with Publishers, we're going to be able to take that data to the next level. You can see that we're going to be able to utilize the different types of 3D software. So on the lower left-hand corner of your screen, you can see, of course, we're going to utilize the Inventor software, but also if you have AutoCAD 3D models, we'll be able to bring those in. Of course, we have the generic, the STEP, the IGES, but also note the Pro Engineer and the CATIA files. And if you have any other type of file format, of course, we could bring that into Inventor and get that over into Publisher. We want to explain this visually. I was on a call with a very large client a couple of weeks ago, and they said something very interesting. They said their main goal in their documentation is to utilize less text. And of course, they're converting a lot of their information to different languages, which is very, very expensive. So what they would like to do is get as much of that documentation visual, where they don't have to go back and convert it to different languages. So you're going to see as I run through this presentation, all of these bullets are showing all the information that we will be able to get done utilizing Publisher. On this next slide here, you're seeing all the different file formats that we can output. So on that previous poll that we were showing, you can see that a lot of people are utilizing Microsoft Word. And of course, being so common, so we're taking screen captures, we're taking bitmaps, and we're placing that documentation in. And of course, we're not necessarily going to disrupt that workflow. As you're going to see here with Publisher, is we're going to enhance that workflow and make it a lot easier. So some of these may be common. Again, the 2D PDF, But you'll notice on the right-hand side, there's going to be some information here that I'm going to start to maybe educate you on in regards to what Publisher can output. In this case, a 3D PDF. So if you haven't seen that, that's unbelievable technology that we're able to do. Now on this next slide, we have mobile. So if you have an iPhone, an iPod Touch, or an iPad, we'll be able to take our documentation that we're going to create inside a Publisher and get it out to these devices. So as you're going to see here, all you need to do is download a free application to basically view that information on any of those devices.